And so I'm thinking, well, what to do? How can I help this young lady? And so I thought to myself, hey, I know how to handle this guy. Well, my name is Bob Kreitz. I was born in Drain, Oregon. I'm 80 years old. Given that age, I decided to write my memoir. And so these will be stories that I've written about. You know, some of them, stories that have always been interesting to me throughout my life. And I've told my kids and I've told other people, and people have shown interest in these stories. So this when I was a university student at the University of Washington. This was in 1967 that this happened. I drove a bus when I was going to the University of Washington to support my education, pay for it. Seattle Transit System, city bus. It was a pretty interesting job. In the rush hour, the bus just fills up completely with passengers. At this one stop, a drunk man got on. By the time I realized he was drunk, he was already on the bus, and there were a multitude of people behind him wanting to get on the bus. So I let him get on. Normally, I wouldn't let a drunk get on because I'm worried about them bothering other customers. But I noticed where he sat. I took note where he sat. He sat behind me, and sure enough, as I look in the rearview mirror, I notice that he's trying to engage this young girl, this young woman, in conversation, and she's just looking straight ahead, not looking at him, trying to ignore him. But he's not letting up. He's continuing to try to basically flirt with her. And so I'm thinking, well, what to do? How can I help this young lady? So the part of Seattle, this was just a little southwest of Seattle Center. And so I thought to myself, hey, I know how to handle this guy. I decided to begin my left-hand turn a little later than normal. In other words, I went deeper into the intersection and then made a sharper left turn, knowing that the centrifugal force to the right would scoot him right out of his seat and plop him in the aisle on his seat, you know. And I figured that all the sober customers, they would sense the centrifugal force, not even thinking about it, and they would adjust their legs and their body position, and it wouldn't affect them one bit. But he wouldn't, because he was drunk. And so I got to the intersection of Denny Way and First Avenue and started my turn, and then I turned it sharp. And sure enough, he just scooted right out of his seat and plopped right down in the aisle. And he got back up in his seat. He didn't say a word, he was quiet for the rest of the trip. And that's my sense of humor. That tickled me, and I thought that was a pretty creative way to handle a situation that at least was awkward for that young lady that was trying to ignore his advances.
I think it's really great that you're writing these stories down, and it'll be something that'll be saved and cherished by future generations for sure. I think they'll be really happy with this.
Well, thank you, Joe. I'm glad I'm doing it too.